and showing that through writing. Okay, so this is a good series as well. Now, in terms of some phonics skills and reinforcing some of your phonics skills with some of your students who might be struggling, and just to have some things at different learning centers, we have two different things that we use. One, we have the Recipe for Reading phonics books, and the Recipe for Reading phonics books have K through 8. And with the kindergarten series, as you can see, it's reinforcing that letter formation and sound symbol relationship, showing objects that begin with that letter. We're not getting into too much writing of words, but actually just writing the letters, okay? But it actually goes in the exact same sequence as your Recipe for Reading book, C through QU. And for your Recipe for Reading continuation, so with book 1 and 2, this is reinforcing C through QU. This goes all the way up from C through P for you to be practicing letter sounds and symbols. It shows you the Zahner Blozer, and it also shows you how to do that in cursive if that's something that you choose to work on with your students. It's also seeing if they can find words that have that sound where they're finding it in the beginning, medial, or final sound. So I just wanted to show you that. Again, like I said, there's a continuation in book 2. And then with book 3, this is going to go beyond C through QU, where they're actually can do some syllable division with your students with 2-syllable words, and also reading separate syllables and taking them into multisyllabic words. Okay. So another great phonics series is the Explode the Code series, and they have Get Ready, Get Set, and Go. And it's just dealing with the concepts C through QU, not in the same order, but only dealing with the consonants. So for example, for Get Ready for the code, it has the consonants B, F, M, K, R, and T. And then Get Set for the code has consonants P, J, H, S, N, and D. And then Go for the code has consonants C, L, G, W, Y, V, Z, Q, and X. So then once you're done with that, then it goes into Explode the Code, which is going to get into your vowel sounds, and that's a good continuation. They just have a lot of phonemic awareness activities in their books. I think they're a little bit more hands-on and a great reference for you to use in your classroom. I just want to share with you some of the templates that you have inside your manual. And one thing that you will be using with your students and hopefully in your classroom is the lesson plan template. I highly recommend using this as a guide. We also have this online, which I'm going to be sharing with you. But putting in your new concept, writing out the words on here, writing the sentences, writing what red words you're going to be reviewing, what new red words you're going to be teaching, and then what, if you are on syllable division, if you're going to be teaching that, what activities you're doing for phonemic awareness is all written out for you. Has a good reflection piece to see what you're going to add, what you would change for the next time. There's 2 pages to your lesson plan template, and then it continues on into vocabulary if that's something that you taught in your lesson. Talks about fluency, comprehension, and then your weekly spelling assessment of what that looks like for your students. This would be great to keep on file. All right. In addition to that, inside your manual, you also have a lesson plan for the week that takes all those 5 components and breaks them down on a Monday through Friday schedule. Perhaps when you're tutoring, you can hit all components of the Orton-Gillingham outline, but in a regular classroom setting, you're going to have to break that up accordingly. So for example, on Monday, we do a 3-part drill with a visual auditory blending and a vowel intensive, and then we teach our new concept and we apply it with words and sentences, and that would complete our Monday. Okay, we could do some reading comprehension or poetry or something like that. On Tuesday, this is when we could be doing other learning center activities with them, doing phonemic awareness, vocabulary, fluency. We can also be reviewing our red words, teaching new red words. We could also take whatever concept that we taught on that Monday, and we could be writing more words and sentences. On Wednesday, this is when we're going to be doing another 3-part drill with whatever that new concept we taught on Monday is now going to be present in that drill. So we're going to be seeing that visually, auditorily, and blending. We're going to be doing a vowel intensive as well. We're going to also be reviewing our red words that we just taught on Tuesday. On Thursday, this is when you're going to be doing some learning center activities, again, possibly phonemic awareness, vocabulary, fluency, some comprehension, writing, handwriting, again, whatever your students need. We could be doing a practice spelling test with our red words as well as our green words that we learned on Monday and Tuesday. On Friday, we're going to be doing a 3-part drill again, incorporating all those concepts that we taught on Monday and Tuesday, and then also doing your final spelling tests. Okay, if you have additional time, you could be working on some additional activities with phonemic awareness, fluency, vocabulary. We also have an advanced sample Orton Gillingham outline for you to be doing for 30 minutes if you're beyond C through QU. So the things that do change are probably you're not going to be doing phonemic awareness with your students. You're going to probably be doing more syllable division, higher level vocabulary, comprehension strategies, and you're also not going to be teaching letter formation. All of those skills are taught C through QU. We also have a daily, weekly checklist that you can use for yourself as a guide to making sure that you're instructing all components of the Orton Gillingham outline, focusing in on a 3-part drill, teaching a new concept, red words, decoding, phonemic awareness, and then moving into what concepts you should be teaching with vocabulary, fluency, reading comprehension, like what you're going to be doing overall, and some organizational strategies as well. And then questions and comments for yourself or things that you would like to share with the Institute for Multisensory Education. We also have in your training manual or in your green flip chart, you have the visual cue page. I just want to reiterate these things to you is that we have sound lines that help your students when they're writing words. We also have sound lines with digraphs with a squiggle line underneath that representing the SH and the TH and the CH. We also have a heart that we use as a visual cue when we're teaching QU. We have visual cues for blends. So if we had a blend SQU, we know that that has a single consonant plus the QU. So that could possibly be what it looks like with an S with a single line with the heart around the Q and the U. We also know that initial blends or final blends have 2 little sound lines. We also know that with 3-letter blends, we have 3 little sound lines. We have initial digraph blends, so we could have something like sh, where SH has the squiggle line underneath it and the R has a single line. And then we could have an ending 3-letter blend like NCH, saying nch with a single line for N and the squiggle line for the CH. In addition to that, we also have Magic E visual cue, which we know is the stars that we put above. There's no sound line for Magic E, so we just represent that with the stars. And then when we're writing sentences, we have word lines, which is a single line. We also have 2 lines, which represents a red word. And then we have for a capital letter, we have a representation of a mountain. And then we have for a punctuation, we have a box that we put at the end. And we also want to reiterate that we want to incorporate cops when they're rewriting their sentences or writing their own. I just want to talk to you about IMSE course offerings depending on which training that you have taken. We have a 12-hour phonemic awareness and beginning Orton Gillingham program. I highly recommend that for preschool and kindergarten age students that need some help with just that sound symbol relationship. Not so much with the writing, but hearing the sounds, being able to state those sounds and manipulate those sounds. The other training program that we have is an 18-hour training program, and the 18-hour training program is a wonderful beginning step to our program. If you want to learn C through QU, we do get into blends in terms of our scope and sequence. We do talk about assessment, but it doesn't get into a lot of the higher level skills. And this would be great for possibly kindergarten age and beginning of 1st grade. We have the comprehensive training, which is a 30-hour training program. And the 30-hour training program is going to give you the most comprehensive program to understanding the Orton Gillingham philosophy, the methodology of being able to incorporate these skills and strategies into 1-syllable words and moving all the way up to 3, 4, and 5 syllables. Okay, and then we also have our advanced training, and our advanced training is a 24-hour training program that begins with starting off with some higher level encoding and decoding skills, reinforcing what you've learned in the 30-hour, and then moving into some Greek and Latin roots, vocabulary, and ending with writing. The Institute for Multisensory Education is here to provide ongoing support for you, and we can do that in many ways. One, we can have consultations and come to your school and do a refresher with your teachers on site. Secondly, you have OG Weekly, and those are weekly emails, whether you have taken a 30-hour or the advanced training, to enhance the skills that you will learn during the training. Fourthly is the IMSE Journal, which features articles and interviews with literacy experts. Lastly is the Interactive OG. The Interactive OG is an IMSE online lesson planning and assessment tool, and following is a 9-minute video to show you how that works. Welcome to the Institute for Multisensory Education's homepage. I'm just going to show you how you can log in to Interactive OG by pressing Lesson Plan Tool. And here you are on the Interactive OG page. And to log in, you just click below. And what we're doing is we're actually going to have a new class added. And so I'm going to click here to add a new class. And my class name is going to be Gene 2016. And then you're going to add your student's name. So here I'm going to be adding my class. So I'm adding my first student, first name and last. And then I'm going to click done after I add that. And I just continue back and I've added my whole class here. As you can see, it's 6 students. So I'm going to create a new assessment for my class. And there's some of the assessments listed here. I'm going to actually choose the level 1 initial sounds assessment. And you have to schedule it, so you're going to actually pick a date on your calendar. And then it's going to show you all the sounds that you'll be assessing. You're going to hit save and continue. And then you're going to click on each student and decide if they have a mastery, incorrect letter formation, or incorrect phoneme grapheme. And you're going to select that for your students. And you could go back and toggle between each of them. As you can see, I'm selecting for my students like a whole row, depending on how well or how poorly they did on the assessment. And then you can adjust accordingly for your students. So as you can see, for Brandon, I am going back and he did pretty well, but some of the things he got incorrect in terms of like letter formation and sounds. Once I'm done with all of that, I hit save and continue, and then I can see my class results. And I can see how many of my students had 80% or more of the concepts mastered, as well as below 50. And you can also see it color coordinated on the following page. It has a key to see how your class is divided up into different groups. You can click on any reports that you would like to see on this page, and you can share these results with your parents or administrator, and then you can just hit save and continue. I also want to show you how to create a new lesson plan, and you would decide if you're going to do whole class, and you're going to also toggle through here and click on what concept you're going to be teaching with your students. I chose CH as my concept, and I'm going to title my lesson plan, which you need to do to continue, and you also need to schedule it. So you're also going to have to select a date. And then I hit save and continue. What it shows you up here is what your review concept is, which is see through the previously learned concept. And here I can actually help the students with the auditory part of the drill using a grid with the screen and the green crayon. What this helps you do is select which letters you would like to practice with your students. It gives you directional arrows and starting points. And you can select some of the letters that your students are struggling with and practice that. You can actually print your master right now or just hit save and continue. Continuing through my lesson plan, I need to choose a literature. So we chose Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. It's going to show you what cards you need. You're going to type in what object you brought in for your concept, which I brought in chocolate chips that we'll be using later. I'm going to select paper that I use for letter formation because this is a new concept that you're teaching them. And here's a large house and a small house I chose, and I chose Zahner as my style of handwriting. And here you can see it's solid and dotted. You can print that now. And then there's a checklist for continuing through your lesson plan. And then you would choose an extension activity. I chose multi-sensory activities because we're going to be making the CH out of chocolate chips. And then I have to choose my words for dictation. And here's your visual cues that will help you with and your students with sound lines in the squiggle for the CH. And you would just click every time that you want to pick a word, you click on that. You can even do review words with your students to help them reinforce those sounds that you've already taught them. You can choose if you just want sound lines. You can choose if you just would like word lines. And you just click below. You can do as many words as you want or as few as you want. After you're done with the words, then you move on to sentences. And you choose your sentence, and again, you can see that we have visual cues with them, with the word lines. So it's going to show the mountain and the punctuation box, and you can choose sentence line only or word lines. So that's going to be up to you and what you select according to your students and their particular needs. And you can see here at the bottom, it shows you what the student copy is going to look at. And you can have printing options of having it landscaped, and you can also change the visuals to portrait, or you can have larger visual cues for your students that spaces it out a little bit better for like kindergarten teachers. And then here's your actual copy for the teacher. And this is where all your words are written to the side that you will be dictating to your class. Okay, and you can print right away if you need to, or you can actually, go back and save and continue. And then moving into red words. With red words, you actually just drag your red words into the appropriate column. So if you want to add new red words, you just click and drag. If you want review words, again, you click and drag, and those will maintain in your lesson plan once you have chosen your review words. I'm just going to add one more red word for you. If you want to add a new red word to the list, you just write it in there and add it to the list. And then down below are some PDFs that you can click on. And here's one with dotted letters with Zaner. And these are your recipe for reading red words, as well as some color and number words. As you can see, they're dotted with red starting points for your students to help them with letter formation. And you can print these out for your students to have in the red word booklets. You can see that we have solid letters with Danielian. Up there, like it's just telling you what it's used for. And there's also flashcards that you can actually print out based on your stages. So I just chose stage 1. As you can see, here's some of your red words. You can also just save and continue. And this takes us to our syllable division open closed door